Origins, the group set up to support women who believe their children were illegally adopted. She's in our Sydney studio. Also in Sydney is Elspeth Brown, a director of the Australian Association of Social Workers. During the 1950s and 60s, she handled hundreds of adoptions. And joining us from Melbourne is Christine Campbell, Victoria's Shadow Minister for Family Services. Last week in that state's parliament, she called for an inquiry into this issue. Welcome to all of you. Thanks for coming in. Diane, this all happened up to 40 years ago. The peak period for adoptions was in the early 70s. So why only now are the voices being raised? Are the cases being lodged in the courts?
Well, up until now, nobody's believed any woman that's made a claim. They've usually been fobbed off and silenced by both the adoption industry and the courts themselves. But we believe up until recently, mothers didn't know they had legal rights. When you question a mother about her legal rights, all she's aware of that she wasn't allowed to sign before day 5, and for those few mothers who were told there was a 30-day revocation period, that's as far as they knew.
Just to get it quite clear what it is you're alleging and why you want a Royal Commission, you claim there has been systematic corruption, systematic breaking of the law by doctors, social workers, hospital administrators and government officials. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. What I want to make very clear is this wasn't isolated cases of adoption abuse and neglect. We're speaking of the systematic contravening of the child welfare regulations in relation to the treatment of unwed mothers, in the provisions that were legally available to them. We're talking about the contravening of the social workers' own manuals of adoption practice and their own training manuals. And we're speaking of the contravening of the protection clauses and offences clauses in relation to the Adoption of Children Act of 1965 in their entirety and possibly for a period of over 40 years.
Christine,